Every now and then, I come across data, information that tells me why Noble Gold is where you want to be. And this story we're going to talk about is a fundamental change that just took place. It's not advertised. The mainstream media refuses to cover it because they're private equity investors or bank related, and they're not going to go against their own profit-making senior owners. And this is really disturbing that people don't know what just happened. JP Morgan has something called Part 17 of the new user agreement, their terms of service. And B of A, Wells Fargo, and all the other Babylonian money changers have done the same thing. And if after listening to this, if you leave your money unprotected in the bank as it is now, you have no one to blame but yourself. And then I'm going to call upon you to do a service for humanity. Because as we know, my comments per view are up like about 575%. That means that our message is not being sent out to our subscribers in the volume that it once was. So, what you're going to have to do is hype this and share this. You have a duty to each other to do this. I'll get to the noble gold part in a second. I want to get right to the heart of the matter and then tell you why I rediscover every so often why I made the right choice of throwing all in with Noble Gold first as an advertiser. Then I thought, these guys are so good. Then I became a client, and I have been for over 9 years. JP Morgan. Listen, the banks are not your friend. They are not. And Dodd-Frank 2010 and UCC Code Section 8 says that when you put your money in the bank, I mean, this is why, as an aside, why Jesus walked through the temple and overturned the tables and he chased the money changers out. And I think these people are worse than what we read about in the Bible. Listen to this. Just take it from JP Morgan. And this is in your terms of service too, no matter what bank you have. We have the right to transfer any and all assets to digital domains that we deem appropriate with accompanying regulations. And I'll tell you what those regulations are. Now, what that basically is saying is we can steal your money. And I'll get into the digital aspect of it here. So let me go back to Noble Gold, our sponsor for this. I'm going to give you the information now to contact them because after you hear this, I think you're going to be so angry and also probably somewhat fearful that you're going to say, I just forgot what Dave said. So I'm going to give you the information now while your mind is calm. Call 877 646 5347, 877 646 5347. If you forget the number, I've got a gold investment guide, but this isn't the full scope of why I'm referring you to Noble Gold. But it's a foot in the door and way to get started and easy to remember. DaveHodgesGold.com. That's DaveHodgesGold.com. And these people will never push you to close a deal. They're just going to give you information. Now, let's get down to what the banks have told you they're going to do to you. I have said numerous times since February 28th, the beginning of this ill-advised Israel-sponsored war in which we're their servant, that this would not end well for our economy. And this is the war the digital crowd, not the Israeli Zionist donor class, but the other group, the digital crowd, the Peter Thiels, all these people in digital, they're rubbing their hands together. They're carving up the country like a Thanksgiving turkey, and they're waiting for the collapse of the fiat dollar to happen because of this war. We have seen the last oil tanker from the Middle East came to port about 6 days ago. We're living on oil within. We can't manufacture a lot of our own crude because it's too thick. Our refineries don't handle it. We use that for export purposes. We have to import oil that fits our refineries. And I know people will say, well, Dave, and I've covered this, but I'll say it again. Why don't we just retrofit our refineries to handle the sludge? Because that would take 5 to 10 years. Game over before then. I think the game could be over this summer. I went on Kim Iverson's show and I said, if we don't stop the war right now by Memorial Day, this summer, by the 4th of July or thereabouts, we're going to see major shortages because petroleum fuels the supply chain. And we're talking food, medicine, and just the ability of farmers to produce the food. They need affordable energy. And I've said this many times, when diesel reaches 6.50 a gallon, and this is what happened under the Biden crisis when the truckers were threatening to strike, and they said, at 6.50, Biden, we're done. We're done. And we covered that. And we went through the math with you and we showed you why it won't work for a trucker to load up a supply, drive halfway across the country and deliver when the diesel prices are 6.50. Well, we're at $6 now and we're living on existing oil, not new oil coming in. I hope I'm making sense now. And we're going to see, I believe, power brownouts, food shortages, medicine shortages, rationing, and driving limitations. It's all coming. And the fiat dollar will crush. Oh, but we've got a new scam for you, will say the government. We've got the digital dollar. And this is what the banks are telling you is coming in their new terms of service, all coming out within the last 90 days. And I said, this is the war we're supposed to lose because this will transition us from a failed fiat dollar to digital. Oh, we've got the answer. It's okay. We've got the fix. No, it's just the next scam. We're moving from one scam system. You don't think the present money system is a scam? Well, let me just give you a couple of examples if you're new to this kind of thinking. They do something with the Federal Reserve that extends to all banks called fractional reserve banking. If you do this, you go to prison. And what that is this. For every dollar that you put into their bank, they can loan out 9. That means they have manufactured $8 out of thin air, and you wonder why there's inflation. You don't have to go any further than this. It has nothing to do with supply and demand. It has to do with Babylonian money practices and why Jesus overturned the tables. Seriously, this is corrupt. But that's not the only thing. They manipulate the interest rate market, the money supply, because the Federal Reserve governors and their board of directors and the various Federal Reserve banks and all their little sections, they have private business interests and they manipulate in mass at the same time to manipulate the market to maximize profit. It's a fact. There's been so many studies out there that show this. The feds did this with interest. And look at how this Fed chief and that Fed chief and that Fed chief and these board of governors profited at the same time. This is public information. And now they want to take you to digital. It's not bad enough that the Dodd-Frank law of 2010 says when you put the money in the bank, they can bail you in, they can bail you out, they can do whatever they want because it's their money once you put it in. You've been declared to be an unsecured creditor. It's the public theft of private property. And they have legitimized it. It's a total violation of the Fifth Amendment and property rights. It's a violation of due process. That's the Fifth Amendment. And if you speak against it, there are terms of service where, like JP Morgan, are debanking customers right now for speaking against this. If they don't like what you say in social media, they debank you. Now, I'm in a credit union. I quit Bank of America. Oh man, was that the best move I ever made? But credit unions are only one layer removed from this corruption. They're better, they're more honest, but they're still subject to the same Babylonian money system. And you live in a rigged game. I mean, let's just digress for a second to Congress, right? Let's first take you as the example before we go to Congress. You got a friend, and this friend is in, I don't know, make up a company, NVIDIA, and they're going to open a new segment of their stock. and you know ahead of time what it's going to open at and what the projection is because your friend told you. He's been in the meetings. He tells you because he's a nice guy, wants to see you do well. He invests through a third party, or he actually reaches an agreement with you. Hey, let's go on this together. I'll be your silent partner. I'll give you 10,000 or 100,000 and you invest in your name. But then they find out that, hey, he did insider trading and you participated. You're both going to prison for 20 years and the massive fines. Oh, but if my name is Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer or some other member of the Uniparty Congress, I can do the same thing. I can do insider trading and nothing happens because they've exempted themselves from this. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? That's just one example of what I'm talking about here. This system is rigged. Now let's get down to some specifics, okay? If we go to digital currency, and we are, the writing's on the wall. If there were a massive awakening today, and we did the one thing that citizens have control over, is if you're not in automatic deductions with your paycheck, or you could maximize your exemptions, and you should maximize your exemptions, you could start withholding tax you pay to the government. Maybe not in full, but in part. And all of a sudden, the little Babylonians, they're freaking because they can't steal as easily. You put a barrier. Oh, we'll put you all in prison. This is a 50-year prison sentence. And they can pass all kinds of laws, but they can't build a fence around the country and say, this is prison, get into it, if everyone does it. The problem is everybody have to do it. Most people, number one, don't have the intestinal fortitude to do it, okay, because they're afraid of the consequences. And number two, most people are too ignorant to take the time to find out what's really going on. Your money is about ready to be stolen from you. And what they want to do is because they're setting up such a harsh system in other areas, they want to use your money to force compliance, just like China does. This isn't conspiracy theory. Who do you think set up the Chinese social credit system? It was our big tech. Who funded it? Oh, groups like Goldman Sachs. That's who funded it. Now, what are they going to do? Let me talk about what I've learned here that's coming into the digital in places like JP Morgan, B of A, and so forth. This is all banks, and everything that you buy now and spend will be trackable. Your privacy is gone. It's none of their damn business. If you're not breaking the law, what you're spending your money on, it's none of their business. Well, if you have nothing to hide, okay, well, this is the beginning of tyranny because that nothing to hide gives away, you give away your rights and they can violate your privacy. Number two, they can freeze your accounts remotely without notice. And they're doing this now, and they're playing games on how they do it. And I've covered this before, but this bears into this discussion. Okay, this is happening a lot to the elderly. If, let's say that mom and pa kettle decide they want to fund something for their grandchild. Okay, so they pull out $12,000 and transfer it to. Okay. Oh, that's out of your ordinary spending. Okay, what if it's not 12,000? You're not over that magical 10,000 limit they set. What if it's just 600? And we'll tell little Billy, we're going to send you about 600 a month. If you need more, let us know. We'll send you 1,000 a month. And so you start taking out money and transferring it. And it doesn't have to even be cash. It can be digital. It can be a wire transfer, but it's outside your pattern. Oh, boom, you've been flagged. Your account is shut down. Try undoing that damage quickly. Wait a minute, our mortgage is due. Okay, I got to pay my health insurance premium. I got Medicare Part B I got to pay for. Doesn't matter. Now you're in default and you got a problem. And if you miss Medicare payments, they can attach a 10% penalty permanently to the rest of the things that you pay. That's just one example, and there's much more detail to that. But these things are being done to America to condition you for you don't control your money. They can make up any set of rules or circumstances they want to control you. And this whole thing, you put your money in the bank, it's theirs. Where'd that come from? Well, because they know that 2009 is not the last crash, and they want to be able to use your money to fund it. We're going to be covering that in a later segment today. That's right. Let's go on. Not only can they freeze your money, you lose control over it. Well, gosh, Bill Gates, and this is hypothetical, of course. Bill Gates has this business venture over here, and he's not drawing a lot of investors. So what we'll do is across the board is we'll take a certain amount of money out of everyone's digital account and we'll put it toward Bill's new financial venture. There's nothing to stop them. Nothing. It's in the terms of service. You've given them permission to do this. Now, they also can geographically program your money if it's digital. See, right now they can say you can't travel outside your 15-minute city area. By the way, if you think this is fantasy, it's already going on in two cities in the UK, and the people hate it. But let's say that, well, okay, I'll just drive my car up and I'll park and I'll cross that magical barrier into the forbidden zone that's outside my 15-minute city. And you go to pay for something and everything has to be digital because there's no cash system now. And denied. You are outside your geographic area and we're assigning a penalty first offense. Second offense, we can take even more money. The same thing is happening with your car. And I'm not digressing here. The kill switch on your car is not just tied to DUIs with all the false positives that are going to come. It's also tied to the fact that they can geographically disable it. They can keep you from driving into certain areas. Isn't that interesting? Why would they do that? What purpose would the government have, and this is congressionally mandated, why would they have any purpose in mandating where you can drive? The only reason I can think of, they want to make it geographically limited to enforce 15-minute city concepts. And I think you've been around long enough, I hope, to know what follows that. Okay, there's no court system involved in this. You have no appeal. You've agreed to it in the terms of service. You can't litigate. If you sue, you can sue, but your case will be thrown out because you've given prior authorization in the terms of service that you didn't bother to read. I could go on and on and on with this, but what you need to know right now is that when they put this into their terms of service this year, these banks, combined with Dodd-Frank 2010, and what I'm going to show you later is that your 401k and your IRA is going to be used to fund the data centers. But I'll show you why as we get into that. So let me go back to Noble Gold being our sponsor. They can take your retirement, your 401k, your IRA that's in the bank. They can take that and they can put it under your name, your ownership, independent of bank supervision. And right now, they can't touch it. Now, I can't promise you they're not going to pass some illegal law down the road, but right now, they can't touch this. You own it, and it's backed with precious metals that appreciates in value as opposed to a dollar that's failing and it's dying on the vine. Doesn't that sound like a good deal? And this is what Noble Gold can do. In other words, besides just investing in gold and silver, which is a great idea because a lot of people think if the supply chain issues hit, like Colonel Doug McGregor is talking about right now, we're looking at 20,000 for gold before we get to Christmas. Yeah, it's about 4,500 now. I remember people laughed when we heard gold could go to $800. Oh, that'll never happen. Remember on the spot, it was like $42 and it went to 800. We're going to see a similar increase here. And by the way, do you know what drove that increase? The contrived oil shortages in the Middle East back in the 70s with the no drive days, odd even when you can get gas. Those of you old enough to remember that, oil fake shortages. Oh, we're going to run out of gas by 1990. Remember that? Okay, well, gee, it's 36 years ago and we're just fine if we could get it. You're being scammed. And your banks, well, they're bankers. They're bankers. The Bible speaks clearly about the history. We've seen the banks, they're behind every war that gets fought. They supply both sides and they participate in the arms buildup, the war itself, and then the cleanup, the reparations. They make a lot of money. They like war and they like your money. And their saying is this: what's ours, but what's yours is also ours. And that's their motto right now. And you need to realize This is the way the game is being played. And I know there's people here that have cognitive dissonance, and you're going to sit back in your chair and go, oh, there goes Dave. That'll never happen. Then explain to me paragraph 17 in JP Morgan's terms of service. If you got a JP Morgan Chase account, look it up. Don't take my word for it. Look it up, and then maybe you'll come back to Noble Gold and say, well, maybe I should be doing something here. And then you get into gold and silver. Now, the problem with gold and silver is that it's so foreign to people's thinking, well, I can't eat a bar of gold. This is some of the ridiculous things I hear. Okay, well, when your dollar has failed and you're in hyperinflation pre-digital transfer, what are you going to do? You're going to have something that you can use. You need to be outside the system legally as much as you can. And I'm giving you a way to do that. 877-646-5347. If nothing else, I would just call and say, hey, I listened to Dave Hodges on the Common Sense Show, and he said he sees problems in these areas. They don't play politics there. I have people on from Noble Gold, from the CEO down to some of their top brokers, and I have them on regularly on my show because they tell the truth. They don't pull punches. They say, this is what's going on. They don't have to worry about playing politics or making that politician angry or that industrial capitalist angry. They just tell you like it is. This is why I have them on. This is why I do business with them. This is why I buy from them. And if you sit back and do nothing, good luck with that. I hope you enjoy your digital prison and the loss of control over your money. My name is Dave Hodges. This is the Common Sense Show. We'll see you back here again next time.